Street Cred Manager. Today, I want to talk to you about trust. If you Google the word trust, you will find numerous meanings, including financial definitions, on the internet. I tried looking for the word and I've come up with the best definition that I think resonates with what I'm talking about. We're talking about management, we're talking about teams, we're talking about cultures. Trust to me is the willingness to be vulnerable and take a risk. There are a lot of myths that trust cannot be taught. I actually believe it can be taught. You can teach pretty much anything to everybody, but you got to make sure that they deliver that without faking it. And how do you do that? So that's what I want to actually go into today. People have a need to know that they can rely on you, they can rely on your information, they can rely on your actions. It's a real two-way street when it comes to trust in management as well as leadership. Relationships drive company performance. Trust in your actions and words creates relationships, strong relationships in your world. So there's a relationship between companies and stakeholders, companies and employees, employers and employees, managers and leaders with their teams. There's also teams and managers, supervisors that all have relationships between them. If you were to look at the most influential leaders in the world over history, the top one that's ranked is Alexander the Great. The third one on the list, however, is Napoleon. Now, the 17th one is Adolf Hitler, ahead of some of the greatest American presidents in our time. Why? Are you trying to say that there's far more trust in Adolf Hitler than Abraham Lincoln? We trust brands. We trust Coca-Cola, we trust Adidas, we trust Nike. We also trust Apple. How many of you read the licensing agreement before you signed up for Apple, for iTunes? It's about 200 pages long. It is a big agreement. And I'm pretty sure most of you have done exactly what most of us have done, ticked on the box. Trust is the willingness to be vulnerable and take a risk. I'll give you a story. I was rock climbing, and I learned how to rock climb at a very young age. I was in Nepal, in Kathmandu, and this is when base jumping was just about to become popular. So I said I'd give it a try. Now, climbing I'm fine with, base jumping I've never done before. I organized a base jumping session on the top of a peak in the mountain with an expedition company that was specialized in it in Kathmandu. And when I got to the top, I was told that a specialist in the area would be up there to meet me and safely bring me down. It was a tandem jump, so you're connected to somebody else. However, at that altitude, it is still very scary. And when I went up there, I saw a guy, scrawny young man, really fit. You can see he's literally lived in the mountains all his life. And he knew exactly what he was talking about. And I said, how many jumps have you done? And he said, I've done about 25 jumps. Any injuries, anything to yourself or the people you jumped with? No. We started talking as I was packing up everything after the whole hike and climb. He built credibility. Street cred, right? You want to have credibility. And the way he built credibility was through discussion with me. There are three drivers in my mind of three drivers of trust. Ability is the first one. People have to be able to know that you can do what you do and do it well. For that, you need a bit of a track record. And to build that track record, what you need to do is to do the small things well. First, build up by doing small things. They're situation specific. Now, with Sam, I had a level of trust after that conversation that he knew what he was talking about with base jumping. Would I get him to fix my car or build my house? No. But for that situation, he knows what he's talking about. Okay? The second thing is care. Does this person that I put trust in care about me and my safety? That's what your teams are asking. In their minds, in the back of their minds, that's what they're thinking. When you're putting a proposition to them, when you're saying, let's try this, let's put an initiative up, let's make this happen. Is your care driven by an ego? Now, if you haven't seen my previous video on leadership and leaving ego out of leadership, it's on the links down. Have a look at them. But that's what they want to know. Is your care driven by the fact that you're egotistical? Is it? If people fear you, they will never trust you. I'll give you a really good example, right? Caligula wanted to become the emperor of the Roman Empire. And when he decided to become emperor, he had a competition. His cousin was the other one. His uncle raised him to make sure that there were two people running the empire, so that if something happened to one, there was always a backup and both of them could bounce ideas off each other. Now here's the interesting thing. Caligula killed his cousin. If people trust you, they will. If people fear you, they will not trust you. They cannot trust you. That instinct will never come out. The third one, however, is integrity. You having values that people agree with. It's aligned with. Come back to Adolf Hitler. He was in prison, and in prison he wrote Mein Kampf. Now that put down his values, note for note, minute for minute, and he sold it. He gave it out to everybody. To Nazi Germany, that was as aligned to their values as it would get, and everybody bought it up. They believed it. So if you say you're going to do something, if you say you believe in something, then you need to come out and actually do it. Yeah, Adolf did it, but he was influential, and that's how he became influential, by believing in the values, standing by it, and sticking to it. Not the best example, but imagine if you could use that for good. Yeah? Live your values. For trust, you need three things: ability, care, integrity. Build your teams. I'll speak to you soon. This is Cred Manager. Have a good day.